Hey, we're here for Mystery Object. I'm here with Shane Lloyd,
Hello.
also the birthday guy.
Oh, yes.
Happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
And we are here to do Mystery Object. And I promise we haven't looked at each other's mystery objects.
That's a guarantee.
Yes.
Yep.
But the reason why I do this is I want to help everyone feel empowered. When you go into the museum, there's a way you can approach each object or any object that kind of piques your curiosity. And you can make meaning out of almost anything, but it's nice to have a little bit of structure when we think about that. So we're facing off.
And that's especially helpful for me because I am not, let's just say at the beginning that I am not trained in this specialty. Very much a novice. I've learned a lot from just absorption, but
well, Shane is a great observer of things in his line of work.
I keep my eyes open.
Yes, and he's good at finding juicy art objects for me.
I got a good one for you.
Okay, let's look. All right, so I'll go first. So when I look at an object, the first thing I do is kind of take in all the visual details. So let's see. Wow. Oh, Shane chose a good one. Okay. This is a 3D object. I know that much.
Yeah.
I don't know the scale, but it looks like it might be smaller than like a life-size person to me.
Yep, I think that is true.
Okay. It's a human figure and pretty abstract. I would say like maybe it's made out of clay, some kind of terracotta or something. I like this because it's like there's not a lot of coloration to it, but there's very distinct black markings and white markings. Got some cool detailing on the head. Is it hair? Is it like a kind of ceremonial cap? We don't know. I like what's happening with the eyes. Distinct. There's brows, but then there's definitely eyes there. And the part that isn't black is so faded, but then the black is so sharp. And those pupils are just out. Medically speaking, do you think that's possible?
Well, yes, I think so. It's kind of like if you have enough emotion, then you can make your eyes do that.
Okay.
In order to reach the desired effect, you just make your eyes do that.
What emotion drives you?
What do you think the emotion
I
is?
mean, okay, so this gesture, when I do this gesture, I've never had the eyes go out when I've done this, but I have done this when I am.
What about the mouth? Can you do the mouth?
I mean, the upper lip is hard to replicate.
There you go. You're getting close.
But it's kind of like, I'm exasperated.
You're right.
You still haven't cleaned your room.
Yeah.
Why are there shoes on the floor? Right?
Can you relate? Do you think that's
there's a deep connection here?
Yes, across the centuries. Isn't that beautiful?
That's why we do this.
Yeah.
That's why we even care. Because it's a timeless connection through objects. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm guessing, so there's this kind of interesting necklace. It has some decorative, maybe beads, or maybe it's meant to replicate metal work, and some wristbands. And we can't deny there's just very few things that are outlined in black, and two of those things are nipples.
Yep. Caught on to that fact.
I'm just telling it like I'm seeing it.
That's
And
right.
then a very faded, long skirt with little feet poking out at the bottom.
Kind of cute.
Kind of cute. Yeah. And relatable. Like I like the fact that it has emotion that I know. From the looks, so that's my observations of it. From the context, I know it feels to me kind of Mesoamerican, like maybe like Aztec or Maya. I've seen objects that are kind of like that. And I don't know if it's related to some kind of like deity or religious rites or some kind of like ancestor worship. So that's where, in context, I don't really know. So can you help me? No more.
A little bit.
Okay.
I don't happen to be an expert in this object or this kind of art, but you are right.
What?
It's Mesoamerican
Okay.
from the classical period of the Veracruz region.
Neat.
Do you know about that?
Is that in South America?
It's in Mexico.
Oh, it's in Mexico. Oh, yeah. Okay, tell me
It's
more.
kind of like, not on the Yucatan Peninsula, but a little bit towards Mexico City on the coast. And this group of people, this culture existed from, this particular work is thought to be from 300 to 500 BC or 8 CE, like Common Era.
Yeah.
But this culture lasted like a few hundred years before and after that. And they have a lot of figures with their arms outstretched. Usually a lot of them are smiling, but I like this one because it's kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
like,
A little put out.
Yeah, a little put out. So, I just think it's kind of cool looking.
I think it's very cool looking. And I think,
and guess what museum it's in?
The museum in Mexico City.
No, it is in the Utah Museum of Fine Arts.
No way.
Yeah. A lot of museums have these because they found like a big trove of them like at some point. And so a lot of museums have snatched them up.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got to go see that.
Yeah.
And then we've got to go to Mexico City.
Right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
All right. Thank you. Interesting. Veracruz. The Veracruz culture.
Yeah.
That predate, I think, the Aztec. Maybe?
Yes, they predate the Aztec. They probably are kind of like, I don't know, cousins of the Mayan. I don't really know for sure, but something.
Maybe like there's some heritage there.
Yeah, I think like when a lot of these big pyramid cities were bigger cultures that these people were around as well.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know.
All right. Well, thank you. What an object.
You're welcome.
What an object. Okay, here we go. Are you ready for mine?
Yeah.
Okay.
Whoa. Okay, so first I'm going to observe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is a somewhat three-dimensional or bas-relief object that could be, it probably has some wood. The bird and the scrolls and stuff is probably made of wood. Maybe all of it's made of wood, but painted. The bird has I just want to say it, that the bird has an interesting beak, kind of like a dodo or something, which is extinct. And then there's other birds that look like maybe they're doves. And then the gold, so you have some silver clouds and then gold, either like a halo or beams of light, maybe coming from the sun. And the dodo looking bird has gold behind its head, almost like it's a halo. So this object is pretty well preserved. The colors look well preserved and the wood looks still has like a very nice finish to it. It doesn't look like it was buried underground or something. I'm trying to imagine what culture this could come from. It doesn't it looks almost like too silly to be like a classical European work of art, but maybe something like in the last couple hundred years, but I really would be hard pressed to know for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to look for clues as to like what is the culture of this, and I feel like it's exotic, like maybe not part of the like maybe not, like a Western European kind of thing.
Are you ready for me to
Yes,
fill you
fill
in?
me in.
Great visual analysis.
Okay.
You're spot on in so many ways.
So far away and so many
No,
others.
actually, you're right. I mean, it kind of has some resonance with European tradition.
Mhm.
Like if you think of like the cathedral, like the chair in St. Peter's Basilica, and it has all these like gold,
Yeah,
like jutting out from
that's
every
true.
direction,
Resonance.
right?
Yeah.
And like those 17th century Baroque depictions of Jesus Christ ascending, or like a religious emblem, right?
Yeah, but like it doesn't seem to like have the reverence of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The only thing really is like maybe the halo and the clouds. But
Yeah.
then there's this quality to it that is different that you were mentioning. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't really have the sensibility of that European tradition.
Yeah.
And what it reminds me of is it's kind of like I grew up with a grandpa who was like really into Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
And like really into like collecting the staffs and all the like carved, yes, and like carved things on the walls and woodworking that's done like kind of in an amateur way.
Yeah.
And then if you think of like going to a national park and seeing like their kind of aesthetic,
Yeah,
it kind of has that feel of being really finished, but also being kind of
not like high art.
Right.
Yeah.
A little bit more provincial and like kind of like Leslie Knope, Parks and Rec kind of vibe. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So
I'm so curious. What is it?
yes. Well, this is by Laurel Hope. It's called Flight of the Dodo.
Dodo.
Yes. So you were definitely onto something with the dodo. It was made in 2013. And if you think about the dodo.
So the other birds are helping it fly?
Because
it can't fly.
Right.
And it's just extinct.
Right.
It's resurrected.
Yes. Well, this is the flight of the dodo, which is, if we put it in that sphere of religiosity, it's its only flight, right? Which is what happened in its extinction. And it's kind of like parallel to the ascension of Mary or the resurrected Christ. We have the ascension of the dodo.
Okay.
Which is very tongue-in-cheek.
Mm-hmm.
And it's flanked by all of these pigeons that are taking the place of like angels lifting to heaven.
Yes.
And when you think of pigeons,
you think of cities. No, you think of like
they're like
birds.
Flying rats, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And the whole commentary is kind of like the dodo never had a chance with the humans. It never,
it's too vulnerable.
When they were first discovered on this remote island, they were on the ground permanently. They were a gentle bird that was kind of exploited by humans. And that is a counter to the pigeons who have adapted beautifully to humans, right?
Okay. Wow.
And so Laurel Hope has artwork that really plays around with the ideas of how humans have affected wildlife, affected ecosystems and habitats, and that interplay between humans helping helping the environment and also destroying it. So this flight of the dodo is playful and fun and kind of draws on some other art historical traditions and American traditions. She was actually a park ranger. And so
Wow.
she kind of felt this call to do art to raise questions about how we exist in our environment and in nature.
So was I right that is it wood and metal or just
Yeah.
wood?
Yeah, I think this is a type of metal.
Okay.
I don't know if it's bronze, but it is drawing from that Baroque tradition for sure,
Hmm.
I would say.
Hmm.
So anyway, I thought it was fun. Made in I think I said 2013.
That's
And
what your thing said.
yes, and this object is in the Smithsonian American Art Museum. But she continues to work in the Bay Area, and yeah,
Wow.
I know, right?
My understanding of this object went from nothing to a much broader understanding.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so good. Hey, meaning making face off. I think
Yeah.
we both won.
Yeah, you probably won.
No, it's your birthday. You won.
Thanks. It's brought me that one.
All right. Well, this has been so fun, and we're so enlightened, both of us. I knew nothing about your little guy. So thanks so much for coming.
All right.
We'll have to do this again
That was
sometime.
fun.
All right.